It's time for our check-in. How are we doing? We need a chance to breathe a little bit after everything we went through. Yeah. We got this guy on being involved in an altercation here. But we might not have him on the murder itself. The only thing I confessed to is being blackmailed by Anton Chambers. I don't even own a gun to shoot him with. If I did own a gun, no one saw me with one. Ask Ash and Luna, they were there the whole time. They didn't see me with one, there's no way to prove I came in with one. It's certainly easier to understand him since he dropped his accent. We still have a ways to go. We certainly have a solid motive now. If Harris shot Anton, he would need a gun. Now those two walked into the alleyway from the side door. Maybe that changes what we established before. Better look over our evidence again and turn this around. Hold it. Detective, what are we supposed to do with him now that we know he's an escaped criminal? We don't technically know for a fact he's Ben Gull. And catching an escaped prisoner isn't what we're here for. We have a case to solve first, and that means we can worry about that later. Mr. Newbuck, please continue. Hold it. Detective, is there any way to check that? I can tell you that Harris Newbuck has no guns registered under his name. Can't say if Ben Ivan Gull has any guns under his name. I doubt he would have any legal guns under his name anyways, considering his status as escaped convict. So if we have to prove he has a gun, we would need to prove he had one on him at that night. It's certainly a lot harder to do. Better look at my evidence again just in case. I don't want a taser though. How do we know you didn't hide one the whole time? As a reminder, it's on you two to prove he had one. He doesn't have to prove a negative. What does math have to do with this? Proving a negative, a logical fallacy about establishing the non-existence of something. This is why every criminal suspect is innocent until proven guilty. So until we have proof, we have to assume he didn't have one. Detective, did Luna or Ash tell you he had a gun? I don't recall them mentioning that. If they mentioned that, we could have brought him in for questioning sooner. Anton was seen with a gun because he wanted everyone to know he had one. He was a bit of a show-off. So as of now, there are no records of anyone saying Harris was carrying one. I have an idea. What if he did have a gun, but he didn't bring it with him? Keep the gun in the alleyway and use it to shoot Anton when they were outside. That way no one would see him with a gun inside the store. And where did he keep the said gun? Why didn't anyone find it? The witness even says he was in the alleyway during the meeting. What would happen if he found it? Detective, I request this theory be thrown out. It was proposed without any thought. I agree. Our case needs to be built on fact, and we don't have any evidence supporting this. You missed every shot you don't take. Better try something else. False. Slap. That isn't true at all. We got the proof right here. That evidence is about as worthless as oh. Heard but didn't see a gunshot. Slap. Oh, we'll go... Slap. There's a way to know if you had a gun when you came into the store. If you two entered the store at the same time, it would have triggered only once. Let's be real here. Metal detector. Went off twice last night. We still can't explain the second one. And honestly, Ferris's counter theory about Anton triggering it again when only Luna was left in the store and all that is incredibly plausible and convincing. We already know why. It's when Anton entered and left. But you just told us that that's the thing that changed when we confirmed that Anton left with you. You just told us that he walked out the alleyway with you. How could he have triggered the alarm twice? Neither Luna nor Ash carry guns, so it couldn't be them. And how come Ash only heard it once? To answer this, there'd only be one reason why my dad didn't hear anything. I know why. Here's the only way Ash didn't hear the second alarm in the store. Break room walls. Take that. Slap. It was in the break room at the time. It's soundproof enough that the alarm wouldn't travel there. And what proof do you have that he was there? You can ask Luna and Ash where they were when Harris arrived, when they confirmed that. Then we would know Harris had brought a gun with him. He killed Anton in the alleyway and left his body there overnight. I keep telling you, I didn't kill nobody. Mr. Newbuck, don't let it provoke you. I can't believe you're still defending him. He's clearly hiding something, and we all know it. You're defending him to find the murderer. In case you forgot, being in the alleyway isn't proof of murder. Killed your friend, got my dad as a suspect of murder, and you still defend him? Wow, the dynamic has turned. Ferris is being... You're acting no differently than you did the last 2 times. Serious Sophie needs to rein in Justina. Justina, take a walk outside with me. Now. Ooh, very serious. Mind telling me what happened? I'm sorry. Sorry isn't good enough. What happened? I got carried away. I shouldn't have gotten angry. Anger aside, you can't attack the lawyer. Mrs. Eubank is doing her job, and what you said crossed the line. I need you to act like a professional. I'll be professional. Listen, I get that this case is more personal than our previous cases together. I want you to stay, but one more outburst like that and I will remove you. I understand. I'm sorry. If you want to apologize, do so to the two inside. Are you calm enough to go inside? Yeah, I am. Thanks, Sophie. Like I said, we're partners in there. I expect you to do the same if I act that way. Let's get back inside. Hold on, before you go. Mr. Earl, did something happen? Before you two go back in there. Oh? It must be something. Ferris? They haven't proved Harris is the culprit, so there's a hole in their theory. And if he... No, Ferris, I can't give up on him. Doing so is what the true culprit wants. Miss Eubank? Mrs. Eubank? No, sorry. I was just thinking to myself, we should be able to get you out of here soon. There's something you should know. Best not to say it here, the walls have ears. What matters is you haven't killed anyone. As long as that's true, I will get you out of here. If I did? But, like, not directly, but by... Sorry for the interruption, my partner just needed a moment to calm down. As for this interrogation, we contacted Luna and Ash at the store. They mentioned that Anton arrived first and was escorted to the break room. When you arrived, only Luna was there to greet you. As it stands, my partner's theory still holds up. But Luna is deaf and couldn't hear it, meaning only my client can confirm if he did or didn't hear it. Right now, he's not going to answer that. I can't let him answer that. Not until I figure out what happened. Detective, I know I lost my temper before, but give me another chance. I think I got it. Ferris, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Now's the time to go on the offense. Find a flaw in her story and then smash it like it. Are we really reversing the dynamic? Are we going to cross-examine Justina? We are! Holy shit! Alright. Detective's logic. What our witness saw. Our witness saw Anton and Harris in the alleyway around 7 p.m. Sunday night. They moved close to the small trash can and graffitied to talk about Harris dropping the bid. Anton pulled his gun on Harris as a means to threaten him. When our witness got scared and ran off, Harris pulled his gun out and shot Anton twice. For shooting him in the alleyway, Harris left the body there until my dad found it this morning. Disagreeing with our witness won't get me anywhere. I have to dismantle Justina's story. If the witness was honest, then Justina must be forgetting something. This is a lot harder without anyone to bounce ideas off of. I could use my own Justina. Oh. Hold it. How do you know that? How do you know the time exactly? That's when the meeting ended. Both my dad and Luna were there. The meeting started at 6:30 p.m. and ended at 7 p.m. that night. Give or take a few minutes based on how long it took before my client entered the alleyway. As I can prove the time is wrong, I can't completely disagree with that. Hold it. And why would the witness remember such a spot? Because the witness made the graffiti and thought they were going to ruin it. If Anton didn't pull out his gun, he might have tried to yell at them. To leave. But once guns were involved, he remained hidden to avoid getting shot. So the witness is a graffiti artist. If they cared that much about their work, I doubt they would mistake it. Better keep that in mind. Hold it. How do you know they saw it? Everyone knows what a gun is. The shape can't be mistaken. But they only saw it for a moment, right? Well, yeah. If the witness kept looking at them, the culprit might have looked back. But they clearly didn't see a finger gun being pointed. So he only saw Anton pull a gun, but not Harris. If he didn't see Harris pull his own gun out, then that's good for our case. That fits. Mostly. If Mr. Chambers was shot once, why shoot him again? A shot in the abdomen wouldn't be lethal. So if he was shot there first, a second to the heart would be lethal. Why not just shoot the heart first? I don't know. Shooting one bullet is risky enough. Why risk a second one? If Harris needed to get away, an abdomen shot would have been enough. Question we can answer later. Better get Harris off the hook first. Hold it. Why would he leave the body there? Would he want to hide the body? It's also entirely possible that he fired one shot and then left, and then... What's the intent behind this segment here? What did Sue tell us out there that brought this on? Would he want to hide the body? Between his missing wallet and keys, this was clearly staged to be a robbery. Want us to find the body and go on a wild goose chase for the true culprit. Don't cry in my ear and tell me it's raining. I knew nothing about all this robbery nonsense till today. He's so angry, but his accent back on. But why would the culprit stage a robbery? This case is getting more and more suspicious. What happens if I present Justina's ID to her? I need to find out. Here's the proof my client is innocent. I don't think this works here. Are you sure you picked the right one? You're right, detective. Let me grab the right one. Calm down, Ferris. Your client will be fine. Just look over the evidence and pick the right one. Alright, we need to threaten him. Let's get right off. Let's pull his gun and shot Anton twice. Slam. I need to think about this. Took a while to figure this one out, but... Middle of the alleyway. This is a difficult one. What am I looking for here? Your statement. Based up in the middle of the alleyway. Is it? Sorry, Justy. I thought you weren't paying attention. Hey, that's Detective Swift's nickname for me. That's our I'll allow it. It's too good of a nickname for only myself. But it was special. It was just us. It was our thing. What's wrong with your theory? Remember the crime scene from this morning? Body was found in the center of the alleyway, not near the graffiti. Oh, I see. If Anton was shot and fell, his body would have been where our witnesses saw them. Exactly. That's why Justina's theory doesn't work. But could have shot Anton and moved the body. That's just what matters is that he shot him. Picking nails, but what reason would he have? As far as we knew, he knew no one was around. If he wanted to hide the body, he would have pushed it into the dumpster. In fact, I think there's something else that happened by the art and small trash can that would help explain this. Then go ahead. Here's what will tell us what happened next to the art and small trash can. Confetti? Slap. Confetti, you found something next to the trash can, right? Yeah, so? On its own doesn't mean anything. When you combine it with this evidence, the confetti gives a whole new meaning. Mr. Sparky? We know exactly what happened. A taser was used in the exact spot your witness saw my client and Anton. Ooh! Slap! But that doesn't show that Anton was hit with a taser, just that one was used. How do you know it was used on him? That's what Harris was trying to tell us. The answer was with us from the start. Here's how we know a taser was used on him. According to the preliminary report, 2 puncture wounds were found on his chest, which I'd bet money matches the taser. All we need now is the autopsy report to confirm that. Once it's confirmed, then that will prove Harris didn't bring a gun. How does a taser prove that? Because my client will admit to triggering the detectors at the front of the store. I will? That was perfectly timed. He will? But doesn't that... The detector was triggered twice, once from Anton's gun and once by the taser that Harris was holding. It may not be a gun, but its shape will cause it to trigger. Never tested it on gun-shaped items before. Well, Harris, do you confess to it? Yes, I did bring the taser. I can bring it in if needed. Why would you have a taser? After escaping prison, I needed something to defend myself. Never know when someone would figure out my past and try and turn me in. Getting a taser off the black market was my best bet. Ownership of an unregistered taser is illegal. Let's worry about that later. Sorry, Harris, it was the only way. As we settled that, I request that my client be let go. He didn't bring a gun, therefore he couldn't have killed Anton. Sorry, but we can't do that. While we were outside, we also got news from Sue. We got the autopsy report. It's not complete, but there is one detail that matters here. He was killed with his own gun. What? That means... anyone with Anton's gun could kill him. If he was stunned by Harris's taser, Harris could have taken the gun and finished the job. I'll update the report for you. Give it a read. What What did I do? It should have been my client told him to carry the taser, and all it did was dig his own grave. And he's as good as caught. All thanks to me. The evidence I presented was a waste. And he was right to hate me. Everything she said was true. I'm sorry, Harris. I failed you. Most public defenders don't give their clients much time of day. Oftentimes, they are overworked and underpaid. How could they be expected to provide a good defense under those conditions? You fought for them better than anyone else could have. Oh! Sophie is right. I did fight for them. I told Harris that I believed him, and I still do. I'm not giving up now. Not until I'm out of options, out of evidence, but I can attempt a gambit. Ooh. That would be a clever trap, except that it helps prove my client is innocent. It does? I don't see anything. I'll explain, but first tell me, how do you know my client did that? Simple. I'll give you the rundown with the new information. Thank the gods that worked. Now the hard part, finding a flaw before they noticed I was bluffing. Oh. I got testimony, that's all I needed. I've channeled my inner phoenix right, baby! At the scene, Anton had pulled his gun on Harris. When Harris had the chance, he tased Anton. Anton then fell to the ground, which gave Harris the time to steal his gun. That's when Harris shot Anton twice with his own gun. Once he finished, he ran off with Anton's wallets, keys, gun, and flash drive. This version does make sense on the surface, but they forgot something very important. There's no one else in this room who is better at solving this than me. This isn't over, Harris. Not until I get you home safely. Hold it. As a reminder, my client said that Anton only fired a warning shot to threaten him. And where is that bullet? It's coming back down eventually. If Anton did fire it upwards, then based on the height of the buildings, the strength of the gun, and the location, finding such a bullet could be impossible. There's too much ground to cover to find a single bullet. It must depend on what we already know to solve this case. When Harris had the chance, he tased Anton. Oh. Hold it. Anton was only trying to intimidate my client. There was never a reason to tase him. If someone pointed a gun at me, even if they weren't going to fire, I would still be scared. It must have been a life or death reaction. It was, but that's all I did. I wanted to keep my life, not take his. I believe you, Harris. That's why I'll prove you're innocent. Now I just have to figure out how. Hold it. And why would my client do that? If he wanted to kill him, couldn't he have taken his gun earlier? In case you forgot, you told us earlier that Anton doesn't allow anyone to get close to his gun. So how could someone take it aside from stunning him? I don't have an answer. Yet. How could someone do it? I'm so sure we think this case from the ground up. What's something we would all take for granted? Ironically, the something that we'd all take for granted is honestly something that, It's honestly something that would, that's going to be the piece of evidence that we, use to counter this interrogation here. But one shot would have been enough. Why fire a second one? Could have been a mistake. Could have been too scared to think properly. Too scared to think properly, but still able to grab his taser. I don't buy that, but I can't disprove it. I'll move on. Hold it. His keys were missing. What about his car? We couldn't find Mr. Chambers' car, so we believe it was stolen. Then there was a flaw in your theory. My client drove his car to the store. How could he drive that and another car? I know. Drive one car, take the bus back, and then drive the other. Oh, Justina. A good way to make sure both cars are moved. If the culprit did take his keys, they would have to know how to drive a stick shift. Another mystery to add to the pile. Use my own testimony. Smack. Detective, I thank you for your forgetting what I told you today. Anton only carries one bullet in his gun, and even if my client shot him once, he couldn't do it again. You did say that, but we have no way of verifying that he did so last night. We can only conclude he had 2 bullets in his gun. I've known him for years. He wouldn't bring a second bullet. I refuse to believe that. And why'd our witness hear 2 shots? I already said he fired 1 shot in the air. It must have been the first shot. But if Mrs. Eubank is right and Anton only carries one bullet, that doesn't explain the second bullet. It's the taser shot. And the answer is simple. A second bullet was never fired. I would have said they heard 2 shots. Might be a shot in the dark, but I have to say it. We just only confirmed it was a second gunshot after you pressured them. That's why it's not in their official statement. You were leading your own witness. For trying to run for their lives, so they weren't giving it their full attention. In fact, my client even said he couldn't confirm what the second sound was. And it's true. All I know is that it was loud and nearby. Alright, I'll give you a chance to prove it. What was the loud sound our witness must have heard after the first gunshot? Here's my proof of the loud oh. Was it this? That absolves Luna of the crime. Second sound was never a bullet. It was Luna dropping the pot, which she only dropped because she saw a shadow in the alleyway. And who was leaving the alleyway after the first shot? None other than your witness. That's what your witness heard. That does make a bit of sense. It's not like she saw a ghost. Let me see if I understand your timeline of events. First, Harris and Anton walk next to the small trash can. Next, Anton pulls his gun out and threatens Harris. Our witness hears the first gunshot from Anton, firing upwards as a warning shot. They run off. Luna sees their shadow and drops the pot. Anton gets distracted. And in the confusion, Harris tases Anton and runs off. Yes, that's more or less what I believe happened. And there are still some threads we need to pull. If Harris didn't kill Anton, who did? Anton was shot with his own gun twice. Yet if you're correct, his gun would have been empty after that warning shot. How could he have been killed? It's not my job to figure that part out. I'll need to get all charges against my client dropped. This morning you claimed that this was a robbery case. Maybe that happened after my client ran off. Mr. Newbuck, did you take Anton's gun, wallet, or flash drive after you tased him? All I did was take his flash drive. He was going to blackmail me. I thought his flash drive might be something I could use. A blackmail Cold War. Detective, I can't accept Mrs. Eubank's theory. Here's why it's flawed. Oh, alright. Anton being tased. The murder happened after the meeting ended at 7 p.m. Sunday night. It means he must have died right after the meeting ended. And there was no one else in the alleyway besides our witness, Harris and Anton. We found no proof of a third party entering the alleyway afterwards. Even if a third party was there, that would explain why his body was moved to the center of the alleyway. We're finally getting to the answer. I can feel it. The whole case has been built on the very idea he died in the alleyway right after the meeting. Is that truly the case, or are we missing something obvious? That could be an interesting conclusion if we... between 7 and 9. Hold it. Is there a possibility of the timing being wrong? My dad and Luna confirmed the end time. I doubt Harris would disagree. The ending time seems concrete. Better move on. Hold it. If you follow my client's story, he left the alleyway. There's plenty of time for someone to come in and kill him. We searched the whole alleyway and we couldn't find any proof of anyone else there. But you couldn't find proof that my client was there until he brought him here. Isn't that proof of a third party as a possibility? Someone coming in, killing Mr. Chambers with his own gun and leaving is too flimsy. Your client was the last to see him alive, so it's the only possibility for now. Last to see him alive. That can't be right, but if not Harris, who? I really hope we don't go there. Hold it. This is based on your witness's statement. He was wrong once, he could be again. It is possible, but there's no reason to believe no one else was there. And what would that proof be? A calling card? Some kind of letter confessing to murder? I wish it was that easy. Sadly, no such thing was found. You were in the alleyway too. Weren't you trying to find anything pointing to the killer? Anyway, it couldn't be Luna. Like, I refuse to... I feel like this is going to be left open-ended because... Ash was gone. Luna can't drive. And the fact of the case is that the car was stolen. So, I'm going to... assure myself that we're not going to accuse Luna. I hate to admit it, but I couldn't find anything either. The culprit, how did they cover their tracks so well? Yeah, it's someone professional. They can't think of a reason a third party would move the body, then that should free my client too. Our witness did want to protect that graffiti. I could see our witness doing that. Trust me, as annoying as he is, he wouldn't go near a dead body. Justina must really hate him. False. Smack. Here's proof my client is innocent. I don't think this works here. There we go. Smack. I suppose it's more of a clang than a smack. According to the autopsy report, he could have died as late as 9 p.m. I understand that these reports choose times that contain a certain amount of speculation. Even with a margin of error, he could have died much later. Detective, is she right? A quarter of Rebecca Lamorte is an expert in this field. She wouldn't throw out that time frame lightly. We're finally near the answer. Everything we learned today, if Harris is innocent, then there could be only one solution. We're getting tased. Here's what happened to Anton. He could have left and been killed elsewhere. My client wasn't the culprit and no one else was in the alleyway, and there was only one answer. Anton must have gotten up after being tased and left. That's the only solution that makes sense. He didn't die in the alleyway. The whole case was premised on the idea that Anton died in the alleyway immediately after the meeting. I'll claim that premise is faulty given what we now know. Your theory throws out everything we know about his death. How did his body get in the alleyway? The true culprit knew about what happened in the alleyway. They killed Anton, then moved his body into the alleyway. The police would naturally think he died there. It's a setup so my client would take the fall. What about the wallet and gun? Why move those? The wallet must have been made. Must have been to make it seem like my client was trying to set up a robbery. They need to leave the gun. The gun and the bullets allow anyone to be the killer. That's why both were found at the park. Then where did he die? Dying within 2 hours after that meeting means he could have been killed anywhere. Can't say for certain, but I do know where to start. It's one piece of evidence that can tell us where he might have gone. It's our best bet to find out where Anton went. The parking ticket. He went to work. Inside Anton's wallet, there's a parking ticket for Eubank Investments. There's the time, but it is dated for yesterday. So we know for a fact he was there. It also means that his car was parked there at some point. Eubank Investments would be willing to cooperate with the police on this matter. But you will have to let my client go. Detective, what do you want to do? This is Eubank. We will gladly take your offer. Does that mean? You were no longer the prime suspect in this case. That said, you did have an unregistered taser on you. You'll be charged with a misdemeanor and likely pay a fine. I think we can all agree that's much better than murder. About who I really am. Sorry, Harris, but Detective, if I may, you told me in the alleyway that you wanted to help people. None of us truly knows if Ben deserved this sentence, but he is trying to rebuild his life. Maybe it's not the proper way. Maybe he could have waited until the sentence was finished. How will putting him away behind bars help anyone? There's no excusing what he did, but there must be a way to help him. Sorry, Ferris, I do want to help. I can't help him, not like this. Can't you change the punishment? Like, make him do community service? Justina, sweetie. Community service isn't a replacement for what he did. Even if he was, like, charged with the murder by proxy. Legally, the moment you escape prison, you are committing a crime. There are 5 years of criminal activity that can't be ignored. Detective, look in your eyes tells me you don't want to. The detective inside you wants to follow the law. Heart still feels guilty, like I'm tossing away your life. I may never have a life outside of prison again. I wish I didn't have to do this. Let me save you the trouble. Just turn myself in. Harris, I'm sorry. Detective, can I have one last favor before I do so? Would you give Harris Newbuck a few hours to settle my affairs? I'll stay in the station. Just want to make a few calls before I do. After that, Ben Gore will turn himself in. I'll grant you a few hours. That's the best I can do. So please, make the most of that time. And with that, I believe we can bring this interrogation to a close. God, again, just a guy living his... trying to... Ferris, thank you. You did better than anyone else I could know. I know I'm a lousy defendant. I don't blame you if you want to walk away now. Anton was a dear friend of mine. Even if you did kill him, you still tased him. That said, you didn't kill him. You shouldn't take the blame for the true culprit. You did tase him, but you tased him in self-defense. I think that's forgivable. Just wish I could have helped you more. I don't have the money to pay you, but I promise to owe you someday. It'll take a while since I have to go back to jail. What we call it pro bono for now. You want to pay me? How about a haircut on the house? I can wait until you get out of prison. You and your whole family can come. There'll be free haircuts all around. Real quick, what made you take it my case? Truth is, the detective wrote your statements down in the case file. Exact words were, I ain't got the heart for killing, even when I'm angry. Everyone could have said they didn't do it, but your words felt more earnest. Just couldn't turn my back on you after reading that. Well, I'll be. Such large faith in such a small molehill. A small molehill that turned out to be a mountain. I'll try and reach out to some attorneys I know. I'm sure someone better suited for this case can help you once you turn yourself in. I'm sorry, Detective. I was too reckless. I was so sure he did it. And we still don't know who killed Anton. You're right. We can worry about that tomorrow. We didn't catch the killer, but we have a new lead. If you didn't remain level-headed by the end, you might not have gotten that. Just wish Ben could have gotten his dream. If Ben didn't turn himself in, how would you have done it? Would you have done it? With a heavy heart, I would. Charging Annie for what she did was challenging enough. At least she could rebuild her life. Since he didn't commit murder, there's still a chance in the future. For now, we better find the one who tried to pin the crime on him. Nice work, you two. Sue got me caught up. Even told me you gave Ferris a bit of pep talk in the alleyway. When I lost faith in myself, I had friends who told me that I have to trust myself. She looked like someone who needed that advice as well. Whoever that devilishly handsome person was, he was right to trust you. And Justina was also told of you losing your cool. If Detective Swift didn't calm you down, pushing a witness hard could lead to being fired. I know it's easy to get caught up in the moment, but taking a step back is important. Yes, sir. I'll do better next time. Anyway, we still don't know who the killer is. We barely know more than we did at the start of today. I think it's best to sleep on it today. You don't want to overwork a single case. He's right. It's getting late, so we can start investigating tomorrow. Fair enough. It's been a long day. I had to stay in the office a couple of hours to catch up on my work. Didn't finish, but at least I did enough to keep my job. Next day, that was certainly a day I wouldn't forget. Glass bullet. God, it's interesting character dynamics all around. Alright, let's open it up. We still got 20 minutes or so to spare. Ooh, straight here. Alright, everything should be ready for tomorrow now. Miss Assistant, there you are. Don't tell me Sue is making you work overtime again. Unfortunately, she needs me to get everything ready for an interview with Mr. Chambers tomorrow. Why, what's up? Some of us around the station were about to go for drinks together. New patrol officers think that if they show off their badge, they're sure to get a date. It's something about how ladies can't resist a man in uniform. I'm sure you could sneak away to come join us. I'm sorry, Detective, but I might have misheard you. You didn't just ask my clerk to skip work, did you? Especially when she's busy getting everything ready for your interrogation tomorrow. So I'm sure you've got some reports around here you never finished filling out. Well, yes, see, I just mean that she's welcome to join us after she gets off. Tempting, but I have other plans tonight. Besides, I don't want to be the only girl there. Don't we have a drinking competition to settle, Ernest? I'd love to join. Oh, would you look at the time. Gotta run. I never realized just how male-dominated this station is. We're kind of outnumbered. That's how it is in most of the precincts here. It's about 4-1 in their favor. Anyways, we have a lot of work to get done before tomorrow, and I'd like to get out of here before the sun sets. Yes, ma'am. 2 days later. A second. Sophie, good morning. Morning, Justy. Got some good news. Check the log for the parking garage at Eubank Investments. Anton Chambers entered around 7:30 on the 30th. Doesn't look like he left afterwards. So his car is sure to still be there. That means Eubank Investments is our possible crime scene. We just secured our warrant. And I guess we'd better get to investigating. Looks like today will be another long day. Are there ever short days around here? Better hurry to Eubank Investments. We can be there in 5 minutes on Zephyr. Not again! Yes, again. Hold on a moment, before you two leave. Sue, what you need? Wanted to ask. Have you two noticed Ernest acting differently recently? Seemed to be the same old goofball as always to me. Why? Do you remember the other day when Ernest went out drinking? Yeah, he left around 5 that night. What about it? According to Officer Johnny, he said Ernest disappeared sometime around 7, which was earlier than normal. Yeah, but we all know he doesn't actually drink. He just goes to hang out with everyone. The thing is, Johnny said he got a phone call about an hour before he left. But he started acting a lot more distant afterwards, before he left without much of a word. Well, that's worrying. Just a phone call. Maybe he had a family emergency. Maybe so, but this happened on the night of Anton's death. The timing of it, I just can't help but wonder if it's a coincidence. So you think Red is hiding something from us? Hold up, this is Detective Hunt we're talking about. He's the most straightforward man I know. There's all the more reason to be concerned if he's hiding something. It's just something to keep in mind as you investigate. I have to get back to work now. Someone has to do Justina's work until she's back. Then I hope this will be an easy case. Sorry, Sue. Didn't expect to have a welcoming party. Justina being here early. Are there cows flying? Hey now, I always show up on time. What good is being early if I don't get paid for it? Well, the joy of the job, of course. Find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. He's right. Being at the station has never felt like a job to me. And you being here has made it extra fun. Well, I certainly never had a job like this before. Seems relaxed now. Better ask him while his guard's down. You know, Detective, I missed joining you for a drink on Sunday. How'd it go? Yeah, thanks for the invite, Red. I only just learned of it. You know, work on Sundays, and it felt like a people in the office kind of type of invite. But sure, I'll tell you how it went. Oh, statement? Alright. We left the station shortly after leaving you and Sue. Headed to the local bar and I decided to grab a bubbly water. Patrol officers kept trying with the ladies, but kept getting shot down. On 7 p.m. I had my fun watching them and left the bar. Went home afterwards. Needed some rest to prepare for Anton's arrival. Sue's hunch is right. He's clearly hiding something. I don't have enough information to properly disprove it. Anyways, we'll head out when you're ready, Justy. I didn't actually get to hang around here, did we? Bush. This time I never noticed those flowers outside the station. Those have been here since I started working here. Dendromicon rigida. Also known as bush poppy. Bush poppy, bush poppy. They're fast-growing shrubs that are native to the area. This year that they bloom in late winter to early spring. Basically around the time you started here. And I started working here at the right time. I see a lot of poppy flowers around here, now that I think about it. I don't think I've ever seen someone sit in these chairs. Those are for the general public to wait, not for us police types. But it looks so soft and comfy. I'd just take a nap here if I got a chance. With all the coffee you drink, I'd be shocked if you could even nap anymore. Caffeine doesn't really work that well on me anymore. I have to drink that much just to feel it. I think my body's just too used to it. Maybe you should lay off the coffee for a bit. Take a tolerance break. But coffee... What are these for? This is the community board, so people can put up flyers for local events and businesses. Oh, look, they're having a blood drive next week. You should go donate, Justy. They give you a free cookie afterwards, too. Oh, you see, I'm actually really busy next week. I'm afraid of needles. Justy, it's for the good of the others. Don't you want to help your community? I can't. I don't do well with needles. I hated getting shots as a kid. They don't get easier as an adult. Oh, come on, it's not that bad. We can go together. I'll be your moral support. I could even hold your hand when they poke the needle in. Stop, I don't need to visualize that. You make it even worse. Oh, gosh. Nicknames. You know, I like how you give us all cute nicknames, Sophie. Hey, finally someone appreciates my craft. Justy is very fitting for you. I'm curious. How come Sue doesn't have one? Well, I just didn't see the point. I mean, Sue is so short and all. She already tried it. We started calling her Susie, then she started getting loads of paperwork on her desk. It was a perfect nickname. I'll do my best to never get on Sue's bad side. Coffee on. Whew. This running around today is making me tired. Why don't you make a coffee run for us? I don't drink that stuff. Water's the only liquid I need. You sure? Starlight Coffee has the best lattes ever. So Justina guaranteed to be a transcendental experience. Starlight! I'm quite partial to their caramel macchiatos myself. Sound like this is more for you two than me. I missed my chance to get some this morning. The pain of being on time. Speaking of Sunday night, Sue said something about a drinking contest. What was that all about? No, it's nothing. Those two had a contest a couple of years ago. Rhett has sworn off drinking ever since. How badly did you lose? Listen, the less you know, the better. If you value your life, never go drinking with Sue. My life? No criminal will ever be as scary as her. True. Alright, you back. Let's go. Back here once again. Looks like nothing changed. Good morning and welcome to Eubank Investments. Oh, hello! Where we are investing in a beautiful future for you. Well, that's new. I'm Detective Sophie Swift with the Azure City Police. We would investigate the death of Mr. Anton Chambers. A pleasure to meet you, Detective. I'm Joy Collins, and I'm really happy to assist you today. What an honor it is to have two officers of our fine police force today. Eubank Investments welcomes you both. In fact, I even hear that our president has been expecting you. President? Anton Chambers was the president. Have they already replaced him? Ah, there you are, Detective. Called it. Oh, you're the assistant for the other day. Assistant. Let's see. Lowell Ledger, administrative assistant at Eubank Investments. It seems your information is outdated. As of today, I've been promoted to president. You became president? How did that come about exactly? Simple. With the tragic passing of our former president, Mr. Eubank has been in a state of shock. The two of us spent all day yesterday trying to deal with the fallout of his death. We didn't know that when Anton was here, it would be the last time we saw him. So until matters are resolved, I've been promoted to president of the company in order to help our CEO in these troubling times. That's a pretty huge promotion. If I may ask, what time did you see Anton leave here? He left here at 6:20 on the dot. That was the last time you saw him? Correct. Once he left, I didn't see him again. He showed up at my dad's store at 6:30 p.m. and it's not too far from here. It does line up with the facts as we know. Since we're here, do you mind telling us more about what you were about where you were that day? So, but I'm rather busy right now. I really must be going now. Being president of Eubank Investments has left me very busy. And Mrs. Collins is more than happy to book an appointment next if you'd like. This guy's really getting on my nerves. So excuse me, I have a meeting with Mr. Eubank to attend to. Guess we have to hunt him down later. Okay, very good. Miss Collins, were you here the night of Anton's death? Absolutely. I work here Sunday through Thursday for 10 hours a day. Hope you get paid overtime. 10 hours? How could you possibly handle that? Here at Eubank Investments, days just fly by with how much fun it is. Oh, no. That smile screams corporate brainwashing. And the overtime pay certainly helps. Okay, maybe not. Look at that PR nonsense. She's doing this for the money. Exactly. Like, the reason you take a 10-hour shift, you take a 10-hour schedule, is for more days off and potential overtime. Like this, 10-hour, Like, usually see 10 hours, 4 days. Gives you 3 days off. Anything above that, you do with that third day becomes overtime. Overtime pay certainly helps. Absolutely. Quit anything with the wonderful cops who protect our city. Let me pull my recordings out. The recordings? I tend to use my phone to record things I want to remember. Here's my recording. What? Alright. April 30th, 6:23 p.m. You make investments reception desk. I was informed Mr. Chambers left just a little bit ago. I should be quiet until my shift ends at 8 p.m. Beep. I stayed on the first floor the whole night. As far as I know, he didn't return. Aren't we going to copy this recording? Of course not. Anything to help. First time I heard a recording being used as a statement. So how else can I assist you today? We'd like to have a chat with Mr. Eubank. Mr. Eubank is currently in the President's office. He's meeting with our beloved President, so feel free to wait here until he's done. Alrighty. Receptionist desk. I guess we've finally gotten to meet its owner. I kinda want to poke around, but isn't that a bit rude with her standing right there? Wait, why is Sophie already going through it? Hey, Justy, check it out. Look what I found. Is that a toy mouse? Is this a cat toy? Oh, that thing. I have no idea where it came from. I found it by my chair Sunday night. We don't have any cats in the building, so I have no idea how it got there. It just showed up? Yeah. Quite the mystery, really. Plus, when I found it, it was really gross and wet. Must have been in some animal's mouth. Any idea what type of cat? There's some orange and white fur nearby, but that's about it. Oh, orange and white fur sounds familiar. What were you doing there? Is there any way a cat could have been here? Eubank Investments has a strict no animal policy. Only service animals are allowed inside our building. Dogs and miniature horses? Azure City legalized miniature horses as service animals. You didn't know? Oh dear. How am I supposed to know that? I didn't even know horses could be miniature. In any case, cats aren't able to become service animals. So if there was a cat in here, it must have been a secret. You're welcome to take the toy mouse. I've just been keeping it here in case the owner came looking for it. I have a feeling it won't be useful, but I guess it's best to leave no stone unturned. Well, we know who this belongs to. Good to see these flowers are doing so well. It brightens up the place. Mrs. Eubank brings fresh flowers every week. You said it was important to keep ourselves optimistic despite the circumstances. She ordered some red ones to give to Mr. Chambers' family. Apparently those represent remembrance. He may be gone, but his impact on this company will never be forgotten. Interesting. These flowers have a lot of meaning behind them. I think it's good to have a reminder of those feelings. Having those flowers out on my desk every day helps me feel a little bit happier. That's a nice sentiment. Maybe I'll get some for my own desk. Something to get me through all the soul-crushing paperwork. Something so unsettling about sitting in front of this logo. Unsettling? Quite the opposite. This logo embodies strength and hope. To me, it's a symbol I can see with pride. Representation of all the good work our company does. I don't know, to me it just feels like something you'd see in a dystopian film, like the company is always watching. That just means they can watch how well I do. It's nice to have your work recognized. If you can show it off well enough, maybe I'll even get a raise. I don't. No, it's definitely dystopian. Such. God, she's full corporate. Oh, I mean, God, I get it. If you're in there to get more money. That is the right attitude, because companies don't have loyalty to you anymore, so you do not have loyalty to your company anymore. The only loyalty you should be giving your company anymore is the effort that they are paying you for. If they are not increasing... If they are not paying you fairly, you owe them nothing. Then, of course, that also raises... Then, of course, you don't always have the benefit of being able to just completely tell them to pound the sand if they aren't paying you fairly. Because you need money to survive, even if it's not enough money that matches what you're worth and what you should be paying. You need the money to survive, and you can't afford to tell them to pound the sand and market to get something better that will pay you fair isn't always there, so everything is stacked against you. You owe them just enough as they are paying you. That is my lesson for you today. It's windy weather on such a woeful Wednesday. But isn't today a Tuesday? Oh, I know, but it's the only day that starts with W. You can't keep the alliteration going without it. What are you, some kind of poet? Nothing really. I just like wordplay, I guess. Think you have a really nice way with words, Justy. Ever thought of writing poetry? Not really. I'm not sure I'd be any good at it. It doesn't matter if you're good at it or not. I just think you have a really beautiful way of expressing yourself. I just want to see more of that. Why do my cheeks suddenly hurt? This is so embarrassing. I love them. They're so good. There's a bunch of chairs and sofas here. It doesn't look like anything's changed since we were last here. What's up, detective? Doesn't look like anyone's cleaned here in a while. Huh? We humbly apologize for the state of affairs our office is currently in. The moment this office has been reduced to essential staff only. Most of the office is working from home, and Mr. Eubank has put the cleaning crew on paid vacation until further notice. Normally the crews would clean in here from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. every day. What's the reason for the change? Mr. Eubank didn't specify, but I'm sure he has his reasons. Perhaps he simply wanted to give the staff a much-needed break. I'll add what you said to the evidence. After Anton's death, April 30th at 5 p.m. No cleaning crew. April 30th at 5 p.m. That's conveniently right before everything went bad. What does this mean? What did Owen do? PR speak. You seem surprisingly excited about working here. Absolutely. Eubank Investments is all about building a better future. I'm the first face visitors to see. It's important that I convey those values to them with a smile. I don't know how you do it. I did customer service once and I absolutely hated it. Having to fake a smile all the time, all while dealing with rude and entitled people. If you want my advice, look for something better before the creeps come by. The wonderful people working here are never like that. Besides, it's a great way of networking with the higher-ups. Huh? Oh, yeah, you know, networking. Rubbing shoulders with the executives. Making opportunities for myself for the future. Aiming for a degree in urban and regional planning. If Eubank Investments has plans for the future of our city, wouldn't being so familiar with them give me a leg up? I can make sure I'm on their minds. I'll have the job for sure. So that's why you're doing this. Smart girl. Exactly. I've got my foot in the door. Once I graduate, I'll already know the hiring managers by name. That's a pretty clever plan. I never knew there could be so much to a simple job like this. I'm in awe. She's talking the talk, with the explicit goal of moving up the ladder. So why do you record voice memos like that? I find it to be like keeping a journal, just with your own voice. Writing is such a pain, it takes so long, and it feels so impersonal. There's also something reassuring about listening to yourself. No way, I hate hearing my own voice. I can't stand it. First time I heard it, I thought it was really weird. Don't know how you do it. Once you listen to it a few times, you get used to it. Plus, I think you have a very lovely voice. Really? Yeah, you do. It's so passionate and energetic. You do so well. It's like a door to your soul. Huh? Where did this... I mean, thank you, I guess. Sorry, I didn't mean to blurt all that out. My bad. Something the matter? No, I was just thinking. But your partner has a point. You have a wonderful voice. Thanks. Why am I blushing this hard? It has flustered the hell out of Justina Day. And Sophie is very eager to jump at the opportunity to fluster the hell out of Justina. And that's adorable. Just called, so we heard that Mr. Chambers' car might be here. Would we be able to see it? Of course, it should be in the parking garage. If a specialist preparing it to be delivered to the family, they can give you the details on the car. Mr. Eubank's meeting is going to take a while. Might as well check out the garage instead of waiting here. Alright. Bet. Car wash. Huh. Well, this is certainly a parking garage. About as plain as you can get. You expecting something different? I thought the Eubanks might go for something more extravagant. Everything you've seen of them, you still believe that? Live in a modest home, drive modest cars. Work in a simple and plainly decorated office. Submit it. The furthest from extravagance you can get. I guess you make a pretty good point. Maybe I misjudged them. What are you two doing here? Oh, Meg! Forget about us. What are you doing here? I'm working. There's a car that got left here that I was sent to pick up. Nothing about the owner dying. In those cases, my company gets hired to tow off and fix up the car. Investigating the death of the said owner, Anton Chambers. How did your company get involved in this? It's quite simple. Our company got contacted yesterday morning. They told us that they wanted to repair the car for the family of someone that passed away. Given that I was most familiar with the Eubank investments, they wanted me to take the job. I've been working on this car since yesterday. Now look at her, she's a thing of beauty. Otherwise, the only unusual thing I found was some clumps of wool in the car trunk. Clumps of wool in the car trunk. Do you remember who contacted your company? Afraid not, I just took the job. I only got the call around 9. Think it's important? Meg started working on this yesterday, then whoever contacted them knew Anton's car was here. Yet no one contacted the police. I bet it was done on purpose. What about the wool? Why is it unusual? Because nothing in the car is made of wool. All the seats are made of leather. What do you use wool for? It's often used for blankets, rugs, gloves, upholstery, car seats. None of which I found in the car. I still have some of the wool if you want it. Might as well take some. Another mystery to add to the pile. Thanks, Big. Do you mind if we look around? I don't mind. Let me know if you need anything. Oh, did we get wool? Did we get wool? We did not get wool. And we'll just have her statement related to the wool. Alright, very good. We will call it here. This definitely has the buildup of a, final case. We're just gonna bring everything together. Everyone's here. There's two things I could say about Sue's comments about the Eubanks not being extravagant. One, their not extravagant home is well above the mean for what the average person would consider extravagant. And just because it's not like a 1,000-acre property with a massive mansion with a big arching staircases and stuff doesn't mean it's not extravagant. It's well above the mean. Well above the mean 2-bedroom, 3-bath house that the average everyday middle-class family would be mortgaging. Also, they drive ordinary cars. That tracks. Like, they're not going for the old Mercedes-Benz. Anton clearly was. He's got all leather. Seats, which they're not saying outright, but we can extrapolate that Anton's got the nice car. Which could honestly very well be the key difference between the core Eubanks and them. And there's also the case of their being truly rich. Like the truly rich don't flaunt their wealth. You can make the argument that the Eubanks are that truly rich, and that they don't want to flaunt their wealth. But alas, there is something to that. That they are not gaudy and flaunty, and possibly something to Justina expecting more of them. Like yeah, Justina's expectations are overblown, but they are still very much rich. Like, they're not gonna gold plate all the walls of their offices. They still got a pretty massive office. They keep a massive office building for their very massive business. They have a very massive house, which is not like an overblown fancy mansion with 5 pools, a gold-plated water slide, but still well more extravagant than you would think. Okay, that's enough of me ranting for no particular reason. I'll see you next time. Until then.